The Empire has a whole list of documented projects, both secret and open, that are relics of a long bygone age. And unless you're watching this from the Worlds Between Worlds, then you know that the Inquisitorius program is exactly one of these projects that has been long since abandoned by the Emperor. And that is exactly why I'm talking about the Inquisitors today. So just who exactly were they and what did they do for the Empire? The rank of Inquisitor and the Inquisitorius program itself was put into active duty somewhere around the year of 19 BBY as per the request of the Emperor. Its purpose was simple: hunt down, capture or eliminate any Jedi that had survived the purge of Order 66. A simple yet very difficult thing to achieve given the reputation of some Jedi. So just how did the Inquisitorius become the Empire's Jedi pest control? Well, by fighting fire with fire. The Inquisitors themselves consisted of many former Jedi and Force users that had been coerced, tortured, or willingly chose to serve the Empire. They weren't particularly powerful, at least not when compared to that of Vader or even the Emperor, and consisted of a variety of alien races. The Inquisitors trained under Vader, and Vader being Vader, often made examples of them, cutting off limbs and injuring them in ways most individuals would not be able to recover from. So in that regard, I suppose they at least deserve some respect for putting up with the Emperor's top enforcer in such a manner. But what really makes up the Inquisitorius program is the individuals themselves, each just as colourful as the last. So let's take a look at each of them, one by one. And also I apologise if some Inquisitors have shorter parts than others, as not all information on them is readily available, but either way, let's start. The 10th brother, or Proset Dibs, was a former Miraluka Jedi Master that served with the Order during the Clone Wars. Dibs here was put up for the death penalty as a result of his failed assassination of the Jedi Master Mace Windu, but not before being sent to rehabilitation as per the request of Windu. Not much is known about his time in rehab, but of course, all good things end with Order 66, and that was when he seized his opportunity to join the ranks of the brand new Inquisitorius program following his betrayal of the Jedi. The 10th brother completed a handful of assignments during his time as an Inquisitor, but unbeknownst to him, one particular mission would spell his end, when he, the 9th sister and 6th brother were tasked with accompanying Vader into uncovering Jedi influence within the Mon Calamari monarchy. Eventually, this culminated in them actually revealing a conspiracy of Jedi influence and being killed as a result by the activation of the inhibitor chips of the clone purge troopers that were accompanying them at the time, and, well, I'm sure you can guess what happened next. The 9th sister, or Masana Tide, was a former Duatin Jedi of an unknown rank that served with the Order prior to Order 66. After this, not much is known about what she did or where she was located, but eventually the Empire managed to find her, and she joined the Inquisitorius program when she cracked under Imperial interrogation and torture. She was a large, hot-headed brute that had no interest in subtlety, especially when it came down to hunting Jedi. She had done a variety of missions for the Empire, including the one that saw the 10th brother's demise, but her own final mission was spent hunting down the infamous Cal Kestis, in which she ventured to Kashyyyk to confront the young Jedi, but unbeknownst to her, he was more than crafty, and from what reports tell us, she managed to engage Cal in a duel atop the several hundred feet tall tree, where she met her demise as a result of being pushed off. Her remains have not yet been recovered, probably because it's very dangerous in that region of Kashyyyk. The 8th brother was a former unnamed Tyrellian Tango Jumper Jedi, with not much known about his time within the Jedi Order, but what is known is that he happily enlisted within the ranks of the Inquisitors following Order 66. The 8th brother was a sly and mischievous combatant with lofty ambitions and was often way in over his head. As for the missions he served on with the Inquisitors, well, not much is known, but I imagine he had his fair share of Jedi hunting assignments he would participate in, but one would ultimately prove fatal for him. That assignment would be when he was tasked with accompanying the 7th sister and 5th brother to hunt down a classified dark side artifact. Unfortunately, other adversaries had the same idea, causing the three to meet up with former Jedi Ahsoka Tano, Ezra Bridger, and Kanan Jarrus. What they were after was classified, but what was known is that the 8th brother ended up in a duel with Canon Jadis, damaging his lightsaber and attempting to flee, only to fall to his death when he leapt off the several stories tall temple. I guess that's what happens when you use something as unaerodynamic as a lightsaber. The 7th sister was an unnamed Mirialan Jedi that had previously survived Order 66. Like the 8th brother, she was later inducted into the Inquisitorius program. She is interesting in that she displayed leadership qualities unlike most of the other Inquisitors, willing to take risk and face challenges to really cement herself among her peers. This can be seen no better following the death of the Grand Inquisitor, in which she was one of the key authority figures throughout the Inquisitorius, despite not occupying the rank of Grand Inquisitor. She would never get to see her goals through, as she would meet her end at the hands of Maul. In search of the artifact of a classified nature, the 7th sister would accompany the 8th and 5th brother to Malachor, where they intercepted Ezra Bridger, Maul and Canon Jadis. Feeling cocky, she decided to attack the young Jedi herself, who was accompanied by the Darksider, and long story short, she was swiftly executed on the spot by Maul, thus ending her story. The 6th brother, or Vil Valine, was a former Jedi of an unknown and still unidentified alien race. He was a former member of the Jedi Order and, like the 8th brother, was inducted into the Inquisitorius program following Order 66. Not much was known about him, as he had quite the mysterious personality and was quite competitive, especially when it came to completing missions with his fellow Inquisitors. Not only that, he was vicious and cruel, acting more like a senseless animal stalking its prey rather than an intelligent creature. His overconfidence would ultimately be his downfall in the end, as he was tasked with hunting down a prolific Jedi sighted on the Agrigarian moon of Rada, and to deal with the local farmers' uprising that supposedly had ties to said Jedi. Long story short, the 6th brother had taken one of the farmers hostage, broadcasting his capture live for all to see. As such, the Jedi he was supposedly looking for, Ahsoka Tano, decided to deal with the situation herself, and dueled the 6th brother. It wasn't until she attempted to force pull the Kyber crystal from his lightsaber did she actually kill him, as the blade became unstable and exploded, killing him pretty much instantly. Not the most lavish way to go. The 5th brother was a former unnamed Jedi and another member of an unknown alien race. He possessed a very stoic and misguided sense of superiority over even his fellow Inquisitors, refusing to comply with orders and actively disagreeing with others around him, getting extremely competitive and aggressive when he felt like he was being told to do something. Yeah, I'm sure you've noticed a bit of a trend with the Imperial Inquisitors. Despite that, he did have quite the prolific history of successful missions that could be a video in and of itself. He, however, would not last, as he accompanied the 7th sister and 8th brother to Malachor to retrieve the classified artifact. He himself eventually had a run-in with Ahsoka and Maul, as well as Ezra and Canon. The 5th brother had engaged Ezra and Ahsoka, but that was when Maul made his appearance and began dueling with the brother, with Ahsoka taking this time to disarm him, leaving Maul to deal the killing blow. The 4th sister is easily one of the most mysterious of all the Inquisitorius. She was a former unnamed Jedi and of an unknown alien race. Not much can really be said about the 4th sister, what her personality was like, how she acted, and what her history is. From what little we know of her, she seemed to be capable of following orders and was fairly proficient at hunting Jedi, although her mysterious nature even extends to her death, aka we don't know how she perished, if she perished, or even what happened to her. Strange. The 3rd sister, or Reva Sevendar, was a former human Jedi initiate or youngling, come the time of Order 66. Now, they say big things come in small packages, and what a package she was. Hot-headed, brash, and completely insubordinate, the 3rd sister had a mission, and she would stop at nothing to get it done. That mission being assassinating Lord Vader. Something about past trauma Vader himself never really specified, but she even killed the Grand Inquisitor at one point, and was still somehow promoted for it. Nothing is currently known about what happened to the 3rd sister following her assassination attempt of Vader. Rumour has it she disappeared and went into hiding, but either way, she had been involved in quite a lot with the Inquisitorius, her biggest being the hunt for Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi, to which she was kind of successful, but she did end up defecting in the end, so yes, but actually no. The 2nd sister, or Trilla Siduri, was a former human Jedi Padawan that served under Jedi Master Seer Junda, until her capture and subsequent torture due to Seer cracking under torture and revealing her location to the Empire. To Trilla, this felt like a betrayal and caused her to join the ranks of the Inquisitorius. The second sister was the one who took charge in the hunt for Jedi Cal Kestis, being mostly a calm, cool and collected Inquisitor that was involved in a large variety of Jedi hunting missions, and was able to display some genuine skill at doing so. She would also not last, however, as she would meet her fate at the hands of Vader. Following her final duel with Cal Kestis, in which she was promptly overwhelmed in a lightsaber duel, Seer and Trilla finally had the chance to meet again, resulting in a bit more of a mutual understanding between the two, with Seer apologising for her betrayal of her former Padawan. But when Vader is near, you know that doesn't fly, thus resulting in Trilla's execution at the hands of the Sith Lord. And finally, last but not least, we have the Grand Inquisitor, who was a former unnamed Powin Jedi Knight and Temple Guard before Order 66, whom felt displeased and on the fence about his stance regarding the Jedi as a whole, due to events such as the arrest of Barriss Offee and the unauthorization of his access to Jedi data files. Come Order 66, he was selected by the Emperor himself as the first Inquisitor and Jedi Hunter, as he did possess some aptitude when it came to utilising a lightsaber. The Grand Inquisitor headed many missions during his time as the head of the Inquisitorius, but even he would meet his demise during his final duel with Jedi Kanan Jarrus aboard the Star Destroyer Sovereign, in which Kanan cut his lightsaber in half within the ship's reactor, causing it to fall off the catwalk, catch fire and cause a chain reaction which caused an explosion within the ship's reactor. Ultimately fearing the wrath of Vader, the Grand Inquisitor let himself fall into the blaze, ending his life then and there. So that about does it for the Inquisitorius. By this point in the Galactic Civil War, the Inquisitorius are long gone, a relic of a long bygone age of when the Empire was in its infancy. I know there are some far more mysterious Inquisitors that I neglected to mention, but there really wasn't much information to go off of about them, so I just stuck to the main bunch. So with that, why not subscribe, like and share this video to start your journey into the Empire today, and with that, long live the Empire and may the Force be with you.